let's talk self-confidence. I always was comfortable doing the electric slide or singing in public. Practice performances. But speaking, you want me to debate my point of view or spontaneously present on a project that I'm working on, I'm going to start sweating profusely and mentally freaking out, figuring out how I can escape this desperate situation. Here's a laundry list of things that scared me because of a lack of self-confidence. Being the center of attention in a friend group where I'm speaking for more than 1 minute, going up to people I've never met before to introduce myself, giving feedback that was anything less than positive, and a weird fear that it would come back to bite me even though it would be helpful, talking about things that I loved. In the worst case, that the other person thought it was stupid and I got embarrassed and not wanted to like that thing anymore. But that was the old Leah, the maybe recent, only 2 years ago Leah. The new me is a little improved, still kind of a little scared of some of those things, but breaking less of a sweat and just going for it. So what changed? How did I gain the self-confidence to tackle these things head on? Because this didn't happen overnight. How did I get the self-confidence to tackle these things head on? Because it didn't happen overnight. The answer that maybe you don't want to hear or that just sounds plain boring is, you do the thing where you lack the confidence, facing it. Okay, but you might be thinking, getting up and doing a 10-minute speech isn't happening. And it's not happening overnight. It takes baby steps. How do you start building? Here's how you can do that. Initiate coworker meetings. Send a message to a coworker or a friend to work together for an hour. I mean, it could be to talk about a specific problem that they need help with, but it could also just be to have company and to kind of break up the workday a little bit. And they might say no, but at least it's someone you know, so you don't take the rejection as personally. This is the baby steps of baby steps to just start asking for things for you. I don't know. In the past, I used to think, oh, maybe I'm being too presumptuous and maybe they have something better to do with their time than spend it with me. Low self-esteem shit. If we all waited for someone to reach out to do something or plan something with us, then we're putting our own growth in someone else's hands. And ultimately, you're the one that cares the most about your own growth and cares about how far you advance and what you experience and you get in life, right? This is a step to being proactive. And honestly, the benefit is clear both ways, and you'll feel confident helping yourself and others. Talk to someone you've never met and keep it going for at least 3 questions. Maybe you're at a birthday party or in the classroom. Actually, I made friends in college just talking to the person next to me, but start off by waving and saying, "Hi, my name is X," and then ask any of these icebreaker questions. What brought you here? Why did you take this class? If you're in a classroom, right? How do you know the host if this is a networking event? This is a cool space. I really like the X. Structure, interior, design, whatever makes the most sense and you can genuinely talk about in the situation. I really like your glasses, notebook, bag, whatever accessory or whatever they're wearing that you actually like. I mean, don't just make it up and lie and say you like their pants when you actually don't really like their pants. Where did you get that? Or what was your inspo? And just be authentic and be yourself so that you can actually make a real authentic connection. I found that it's a lot to immediately jump into work or the classroom subject. And not everyone is comfortable starting off with talking about their work situation right off the bat. I like to start off with some forms of these questions just so I even have ammo to be able to ask more questions as I learn more about them. And while they talk, you can also think of how to respond. I mean, also listen and pay attention so you can genuinely respond. The theme here is be genuine and be interested. If there's something interesting to you, make sure you talk about it. This should be a conversation and not just you being a robot and asking as many questions as possible just to get it out of the way. Be open, and then people will be open to you too. After you even ask the first question, you'll feel more open to talk about your side or your own experience. And then you'll have follow-up questions. And then I challenge you to ask 2 more questions, whether they just naturally follow off the first 2 questions that you ask, or they're a different one just based on what you've heard back in the conversation. I don't know about you, but once you start talking, it's just easier to keep the conversation going. And I just find it easier to really just think about how you can make it about the other person and a learning opportunity for you. They might have a point of view, perspective, opinions, or insight about things that you have different insights or opinions about, or something you've never known before, and so you're learning something new as well. Bring up one thing that you enjoyed, no matter how seemingly weird, niche, or silly it may seem, when someone asks what fun thing you've done recently, and talk about it for a minute or two. I don't know about you, but I can get easily frazzled or distracted by someone's facial expressions when I'm speaking to them. I'm not sure if they're interested or bored or they don't like what I'm talking about, especially when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. But don't let that stop you. I think sometimes we just don't know how our faces come across as. I notice someone might be looking away, but they're still paying attention, or they say cool with a slight frown, but they still think it's cool. It could be someone smiling. Someone smiling doesn't necessarily mean that they're interested either. But think about all the times that someone talks about what they're passionate about and you enjoy it. Give someone the satisfaction too, and for the 3 times out of 10, okay, that's kind of made up, but let's say in general, of the people who aren't interested, don't let it get you down. Are you always interested in a topic that someone gushes about? The exercise is just to share about what you love and go as far as you can with it. You'll end up being able to talk more and more about what you enjoy, regardless of the other person's reaction. Because for the most part, they probably enjoy that you're talking about what you're passionate about. Baby steps into giving advice. Start with a friend. While hanging out, or if they ask, think about how you can give advice that's easy for them to put into action. Ask your friend if it's okay to give them your honest opinion. And when you give advice, practice giving it in a way that isn't judgy or harsh so you don't feel awkward. Do this by saying, from my observation, or based on my own experience, because you're not God, of course, and you'll feel more self-conscious giving critical feedback, especially at the beginning from the get-go. It's totally okay to think out loud and to learn how to improvise on the fly. And when you think about the action that you can give advice on, think of something small that they can start with. That's actionable. Don't rush through a laundry list of items that you'll end up fumbling across. So here we are, a few small ways to improve your self-confidence. Just begin by getting yourself out there little by little. Even involve a friend or two. I wish you more and more confidence.